I know mostly on this channel I talk about Spirit Halloween and their growth and evolution, but I think for today we should look at their main competitor right now, Home Depot. With each year, I feel as if Home Depot only becomes more and more prevalent as the years go on. So I want to talk about in this video the history of Home Depot and Halloween, and their rise to fame with their infamous animatronics and their stories. While I can't pinpoint the exact date Home Depot started Halloween-related props, I can share a couple of things. First of all, there are early clips of Home Depot and Halloween in the early 2010s, and you can actually notice a Spirit Halloween prop being sold in Home Depot. That's right, select Spirit Halloween animatronics were actually sold in Home Depot, which is pretty funny to think about nowadays as they're pretty big rivals. Some of these animatronics include Creepy Rising Doll and the Wicked Witch of the West. There were some others, I believe, but it's pretty obvious why Home Depot stopped doing this as they became a real competitor in basically a couple of years. Anyway, going through the years, you can tell Home Depot was way cheaper in quality compared to Spirit Halloween. This was obviously meant to be like a budget version compared to other options, as companies like Gemmy and Sunstar were producing for Home Depot around this time. If you don't know what these companies are, essentially anything they make after 2013 is just cheap, plasticky animatronics that fall apart with a single breeze. However, it seems like around 2017 they start to get SVI to produce for them, which would be a massive game changer. SVI is a quality producer of animatronics and merchandising goods compared to the likes of Gemmy and Sunstar. I believe 2017 was one of the first years people actually took notice of Home Depot as a solid option for Halloween shopping. There were some cool things here and there, such as the gigantic spider and some werewolves as well. Anyway, the next couple of years followed with both SVI and Gemmy mostly producing for Home Depot. But the tides completely turned in 2020, quite possibly Home Depot's greatest year. Now keep in mind, this is the very same year we had the unfortunate circumstances of the pandemic, so it's insane how lucky they got with how popular this year was. I didn't even really know Home Depot made Halloween animatronics till 2020, I'm just going to be honest, and I believe many people think the same thing. Now the biggest headliner this year, literally, is the 12-foot skeleton. Now if you want a super informative video on this guy, I recommend checking out Spooky Guy's 444's video on it, as he did a lot of research to make it. Anyway, long story short, in around July, Home Depot announced that once again, they would have animatronics for the Halloween season. This obviously wasn't a surprise, but what was a surprise was the fact that in the teaser image Home Depot posted, the 12-foot skeleton was looming in the background. I think when people first saw this image, they probably imagined that the skeleton would be 9 feet max, as nothing in the retail industry has ever really gotten 12 feet tall. I mean, we have seen some stuff in the professional haunt industry that has been over 10 feet tall, but that stuff's just really expensive and overall probably would just never happen in the retail industry. Just for reference, back in 2017, Spirit Halloween released a creepy towering clown, which was 7 feet tall. Nowadays, that's almost becoming the average height for some animatronics. But from the beginning, Home Depot has always wanted to go big, either with their gigantic spider I mentioned earlier, or even this dragon, or even this pirate ship. These were all big headliners of the Home Depot season, and quite frankly, some of the most unique props that Home Depot had to offer. That being said, many people were interested in the skeleton. Then, he released. It doesn't go without saying that the 12-foot skeleton was a massive hit. I mean, you can't even go throughout a neighborhood during the Halloween season without just seeing more than one skeleton. Just within the few years, countless reports of the 12-foot skeleton being stolen and ripped from their stakes was a super common occurrence. People were selling this thing on eBay for way more than it should be. It's honestly just insane how many of these things have sold, and I believe it may just be one of the most sold and recognizable Halloween decoration in the entire world. Home Depot didn't just stop there. Instant fan favorites such as the Gravedigger, the Jack-in-the-Box, the Alien, the Flaming Scarecrow, and the Old-Time Clown were all equally as loved. I believe Home Depot also got very lucky, as 2020 is often regarded to be Spirit Halloween's worst season. Since people didn't want to shop at Spirit after looking at all the Halloween options, people probably assumed Home Depot would be the best. It's insane that this one year, Home Depot literally solidified itself into the Halloween industry. and just how much of a financial impact this one year helped the company. However, there still were some questionable animatronics that year that were mostly produced by Gemmy. However, the year 2021 for Home Depot solidified itself even more as a major competitor in the Halloween retail. Probably the most recognizable prop this year was the Inferno pumpkin skeleton. It was essentially just a remodel of the 12-foot skeleton. There were super unique ideas as well, such as the mayonnaise plant, and we also saw the introduction of servos with the Inferno Reaper. Now keep in mind the Inferno Reaper, as this servo technology will become very important later. Essentially, if you don't know what servos are or what they do, servo motors allow the figure to achieve an accurate position and can move freely in all directions. Basically, servos make the animatronics have natural movements, which is mostly used on the animatronic's head and neck movement. The year 2022 rolled around, and people now anxiously waited to see what Home Depot had to offer for their animatronics. People literally pulled all-nighters on the morning of the release for the animatronics, and hundreds sold out within seconds. Super popular props from this year were the Goblin, Oogie Boogie, Teary the Clown, the 12-foot Witch, Dean the Deathologist, and probably the most important one to look at, the 15-foot Phantom. No one thought going over 12 foot was possible, as already there were countless reports of the 12-foot skeleton falling over from strong winds and heavy weather, so 15 feet seemed virtually impossible. However, Home Depot always goes above and beyond with their technology, and they pulled through, introducing the 15-foot Phantom. Unfortunately, this guy wasn't nearly as profitable as the 12-foot skeleton, and honestly, I can't really tell you why. Maybe it's just his appearance and how he honestly just looks kind of cheap. But honestly, I think Home Depot and many others were expecting this guy to essentially become the new 12-foot skeleton. But either way, he was still a massive hit with many fans. On top of all this, 2022 was also considered a weak year for Spirit Halloween, and many prior Spirit Halloween fans actually looked forward more towards Home Depot's lineup compared to Spirit's. In fact, as more and more time goes on, I almost see more buzz around Home Depot than Spirit Halloween. 2023 came, and I believe this may be one of the most important years for Home Depot. Remember the Inferno Reaper from 2021? Well, Home Depot decided to use the same servo technology in the neck, but also added eye movement, eye blinking, facial expressions, and mouth movement. The best example of this is probably Lethal Lily, who almost sold out instantly when Home Depot released her. The motion she has is almost terrifying how realistic it is, and this is the first time we have ever really seen something this fluid and realistic in the retail industry. I believe this is one of the most fluid animatronics Home Depot has ever released, and can rival the likes of Disney animatronics, honestly. Home Depot didn't just stop there. They used the same technology with THG 3000 and Yoda. I believe Yoda actually has the most motion with this new technology, with his entire face being filled with servos and other motions. Of course, Home Depot released more 12-foot animatronics, having the 12-foot Jack Skellington, which was a super big hit as well. Now, I want to take this last segment of the video about why I believe Home Depot can easily surpass Spirit within the next years with both quality and sales. Quite frankly, it comes down to price. If you look at a company like Spirit Halloween, their prices are super inflated, and quite frankly, they need these animatronics to sell to make a profit. I mean, it's just insane how inflated all these prices are, as it's just an insane percentage markup. I don't know the exact amount, but it's an absurd amount compared to other companies. They obviously make a lot of their money on costumes and accessories, but animatronics are still a pretty big factor as well. Obviously, within the most recent years, we've been having some insane inflation. I mean, just look at the gas prices and other necessities. So with that, Spirit Halloween has no real choice but to insanely inflate their prices. However, compare this to Home Depot, where they already have a good income from their items, such as lumber and power tools. Because of this, their Halloween prices are essentially the cheapest in the Halloween retail market. Take the 12-foot skeleton, for example. If this thing was sold at Spirit Halloween, it would be for sure around $500 or even more, but Home Depot is selling it for $300. Just as a comparison, Nozzles the Clown, who is 6 feet tall, that fogs, and has about 2 movements from Spirit Halloween, is $50 more than a 12-foot skeleton. That's really sad, but it just goes to show that Home Depot can actually spare to lower their prices, as it's a way more affordable option. Even stores like Party City, their 12-footers are around $500. My point is, Home Depot is offering the quality of theme park animatronics at $300 or less. Lethal Lily, who's a super animated figure, is selling for $280, which is the same price as a 7-footer online-only animatronic who just moves side to side. And keep in mind, Lethal Lily's already 7 feet tall as well. My point is that Home Depot is offering the quality of theme park animatronics at $300 or less. Then they're just going to become more popular with customers. I honestly don't see Home Depot going anywhere but absolute success, and I believe that they may beat Spirit Halloween in sales very, very soon. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and of course, goodbye everyone.